YouTube. Welcome back to the Bison Workshop. I'm Bob, and we're going to try something today. I don't know how successful I'm going to be at it, but I look at it this way. If it ain't, I didn't lose nothing. So, as everybody's seen in my last video, not the hurricane one, but the one before that, recycling the washer, I got this big old bowl, and since then took it in and washed it real good and cleaned it, and it's usable now. Well, I had thought about using this, but because of this right here being sunk in, I didn't think that it was big enough to do that. And then I seen one of my subscribers mention that I should use this, and it was funny he said that because I was already thinking the same thing, but I didn't think that it was going to be wide enough. And so I went and checked it out, and it does have some scratches in it, and I should be able to polish those out. And what I'm thinking about doing is, I'll bring you down here and show you what I'm thinking about doing. What I'm thinking about doing is setting that on there and get that to where it's just, it doesn't matter if it's folded over right here on the edge, because I can just cut it a little wider, you know, just a little bit wider than it should be, so I have enough overhang here, and cut that all the way around the same distance from here to the lip, because this thing's got a lip on it right there. And then take my heat gun, after I've clamped this down, and take the heat gun and heat it up and just fold it down as I go around. And if it's wavy, that's not a big deal. Hell, it might even look good. But if it's wavy and it don't look good, then I can take a file and file around it and then polish it. I don't know. We're going to give this a shot. If it doesn't work, you're not going to see this video. So it don't matter. So we're going to try to figure out the best route to cut this. I'm thinking the jigsaw, because the bandsaw, when I try to cut anything, it kind of wants to walk on me. Either my bandsaw's a piece of shit, or the blade's a piece of shit, or I don't know what I'm doing. But it likes to walk, and I don't want it to walk into the area I don't want to cut, so I can control a jigsaw a little better. So basically what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to cover the whole thing with masking tape, so that when I take the jigsaw over it, it doesn't put scratches all the way around it. Alright, so now I want to find something to set this up on, probably my bar stool. So we'll turn around here and put the bar stool in the middle of the floor, and I'll hold down on this while I'm cutting that around. So that's going to be our next step. Alright, so now we've got our piece cut out. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take the file and we're going to go around it and just kind of clean up the edges just a little bit, just to get that little burr off of it. Anybody notice that I put a new covering on my table? So what we're going to do is we're going to take the tape off of it. Alright, so now what we're going to do is we need to figure out a way to hold this down tight so that I can walk around it and fold down as I go around. So I need this to not move. I need the glass bowl to not move. I need this to not move. So if I had some of that real thin two-sided tape, that would work perfect. But I'm not sure how that would react to the heat. It might cause a mess, so we're not going to use that. So I guess the only other alternative is to find something that's round that will press down, but we want it to be pressed right close to the edge of this. So I've got one thing that might work. As soon as I lay eyes on it, I had it the other day. Oh, here it is. Oh by God, there it is. That thing works perfect. So now we need to clamp it down. Alright, let's hope this works. So what I've done, I've clamped this down on both sides, and I put a piece of aluminum, 2-inch aluminum round stock in here, and the reason for that is so that I didn't get in the way of this area right here, so I can still be able to bend it down, get this up off of there. And then this here is to make sure that this doesn't change its form when I go to push down on it. So basically I'm just going to be pushing down on this edge. So we're going to see how this works. So let's go ahead and start. Alright, so now we're not going to be able to get it off yet. So what I've got to do is I'm going to wait till it cools down. Now this spot right here got a little messed up on me. But once it cools down, then I'm going to take and I'm going to trim all this down. And that's an awful lot to trim, but I'm going to have to trim it down to level with the bottom of this rim. And that way it will come off. But right now it's not going to come off. I wish I had a round clamp that I could kind of put in here. I might have to make one and put on a pair of vice grips or something and clamp that in a round contour as I heat it. So basically what we're going to do is I made a tool that's the same contour that will get down on there and straighten that. And I've already done from here to here, so you know, straightening it up pretty good. And so we're going to go ahead and show you what I'm doing. Got this shield here to keep the heat off the glass as much as possible. Then I just take my putty knife check it, see how soft it is. Alright, and we gotta work quick. And then we'll just hold that right where we think we need it. Until it cools down. Once it cools down to where it won't move no more, I think this is going to work. And then I'll just have to file it and shape it. And then once I've filed it and shaped it, then we can go around and sand it and polish it. So that should be good. See how straight that is? And then if I need to adjust it, I can just come back in here and tighten this down a little bit more and just move it out a little bit as I'm going. But for now, I've got it round. I just want to make sure it's round first and not wavy like this. So we're just going to move on around here, and while my battery charges on my phone, I'll do that part, and then we'll come back and show you the next step. This is going to be a nice bowl and a nice lid, hopefully. I've never bent plastic like this. This is the first time I've ever done anything like this, so right now it's just an experiment. And we're just going to heat up about that much and use that just like we just did until we get all the way around it. And then if we need to readjust, I'm hoping that it's in far enough that we can, it'll press down on there and seal, but we're not going to be guaranteed that. So until then, alright guys, I've got that straightened up a little bit, straighter than it was, and it don't look the greatest, but we're going to try to shape that and make it look a little better. So let's try it and see if it works. We bent plastic. It's not the prettiest thing in the world, but it will be when I'm done. So there you have the lid for the bowl. I ain't done with it yet. it snaps off, but you have to do it in a certain spot. Right there. So we're going to have to mark that somehow, saying where to lift, because this side here is folded in just a hair, and if I pull up on this, it'll actually seal. So now I got to go around the edge and file all that and shape it and sand it, and then just keep sanding it with a thinner, or a like go from 80 to start off with. After I file it, I got to file it first. Once I've got the shape down nice and smooth with the file, then I can take the 80 grit sandpaper and do the whole thing. Then do I'm actually thinking about something different, because if you notice, this here's clear with a straight line all the way around that, just about. So maybe we could take and speed blast, if I can. I might be able to find enough sand around here to sand that with, or something. I don't want to paint it. I don't want paint near my food. We could probably just take and sandblast that, if I can find a way to sandblast. I've got the nozzle, I've got the air. I think I even have some sand around here somewhere. Yeah, it's going to be messy, and you want to do it outside and away from your vehicles, because it will be in your ears, your nose, your eyes, even if you've got protection on. Trust me, I used to bead blast. So we could mask that off and just bead blast that whole thing around the edge of it and make it a give it that I can't think of the word for it, but I got to shape it first. And if you see how wavy it is, I got to shape all that to make it all the same size all the way around. It got kind of melted a little bit more in some areas than it did in others. So I got to figure out how to do that too. Anyway, I'm done for the night. This will end part 1 of the washing machine bowl. Bowl made from a washing machine. Try that one. Who else has done that? Nobody. Only Bison would do that. So don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe. I'm going to get some comments on this one, I know it. If I don't, I'm going to be disappointed. I hope I get 2,000 likes on this. I'll be lucky to get, I'm really lucky to get over 150 likes on any of my, or views on my videos. So I think the most likes I've ever had is like 30-something likes. So that number's got to change, guys. You got to help me out here, man. So don't forget to like and share and comment and everything, man. And you guys have a good one. Later.